All right, good morning and welcome back. On the bench this morning, we've got a follow-up on the Stryker 655. Joey, this is your radio. Joey sent this radio and a Galaxy 33 HP2 in. Both radios were purchased at the same place, and both radios were modified to the point where they just sounded like crap. Okay, that's the bottom line is the radio sounded like crap. All he got was people telling him to turn them down, turn them down. Even after turning them down, they still sounded like crap. And so he sent them here to get them looked at and straightened out. So anyway, I'm showing this this picture just for you other people that may be in the same boat as Joey and people are complaining that your radio doesn't sound good. You can simply just pop the bottom lid off the radio and take a look in there. And if you see stuff like this right here, this diode right here, and this diode right here, those are not stock components. Okay, any diode in this radio that you're going to see is most likely going to look like that one right there. Same diode, just at a surface mount. Okay, these radios are, 98% surface mount. Most of the stuff that's through hole are your trimmers, your electrolytic capacitors, your protection diode, which is right there. Okay, protects it from when you plug it in backwards, so it doesn't blow up the radio. Even though I've seen some of them still destroy the radio too. Anyway, so these are those swing kits that they talk about. I'm sure he was promised 75, 80 watts out of this thing, which is virtually impossible with the finals that are in it. They're either 13N10s or IRF 520s. I didn't take the cover off and look. They swapped them around through time, so they're one or the other. Anyway, they still work very, very well. They also, you can't see it very well, but you can see where somebody's been in there. Okay, right there, that is the collector lead of Q50, which is a regulator. Okay, by removing that collector lead right there, that little lead right there, it disables the modulation circuit, so you have no control over the modulation. Okay, so this radio, as you saw in the previous video on the scope and the analyzer, totally cranked and spanked. Again, just wide open, just absolutely wide open, and that's why it didn't sound that good. Okay, got plenty of watts out of it, got 75 watts out of it, but most of those watts were just fake watts due to harmonics, and it sounded horrible over the air. Okay, and we showed you that. We let you hear that. I didn't show you what it sounded like coming out through the coax. You heard what it sounded like coming through the coax, just to get that straight. Okay, so here we are. This is the radio under this little microscope that I've got. I know it's not laboratory quality, but those are thousands of dollars. So we do with what we can get and get the job done, and it works very well for what we need it to do. So anyway, here is that Q50 right here. Okay, we've got that leg soldered back down, which actually took a while to find because you couldn't see it. With the naked eye, you couldn't see that they had lifted that leg. They just unsoldered it and lifted it up just about the thickness of a hair, just enough so it wasn't touching the pad. So after we got the diodes and everything out of the radio and we went to tune the radio, we had no control. So we dug around a little more just by using a plastic tool, and voila, we found it. So got lucky on that one. Anyway, they also, if you notice in that photo, okay, just want to show that real quick. They removed the component. So right here, if you see that solder pad right there, okay, and then on the other side there's another solder pad. That's where that diode is soldered to. Okay, they removed the resistor. Okay, R141. So we've got R141 back in. We'll show you. You can see it right there. And let me tell you, these things are tiny, tiny, tiny. It's a chore working with this stuff, but hey, we get it done. Anyway, right there is that resistor, the little tiny one, just above the tan capacitor. Okay, so we've got that back in. Tried to clean up some of the sloppy solder along the way. I really don't like to leave my iron down in here too long and try to clean it up so it looks factory, but as long as it's making a good solid connection, that's what counts. Okay, so I know some like that one right there looks like a little blob, and the one underneath the center lead of the regulator kind of got a little blob on it, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with the soldering iron down in there because these boards are easily destroyed. Okay, I've had several radios in here where people have tried to do some of these modifications, and they destroyed the board. And luckily, we were able to get it back together by running jumpers and such. And that's you know, it's pretty tedious work. It takes time, and you know, just unnecessary work that should not have to be done. But anyway, also radio came in with a receive issue. Okay, very low receive. I think we were putting 5 microvolts of signal into it, and you could barely hear it. Okay, so what that was is right here by where you see where it says TP16. Excuse me, this diode D36 was blown, and that limited that receive down. Okay, and that's how do I explain it? It's kind of a protection diode. So when you key up the radio, it prevents the RF from going into the receive section of the radio. Okay, stops it in its tracks. So we're kind of got a little debate going on between me and my partner on what may or may not have caused that to fail. So could it have been the modifications done to the radio? Maybe. That's a big maybe. Could it have been just manufacturer defect, so over time it just it let go? Also a possibility. And or we're more leaning towards somebody with a big powerful radio being nearby and keying up and blowing that thing out of there, because it is in circuit with both the transmit and the receive. So we're thinking more you know, somebody with an amp or a N2 and N4 radio keyed up really close and pop that out of there. But anyway, we've got it in. Everything's running good now, so you'll be able to see what she's coming with the receive. We had to pull the cover off the receive section and go through the whole thing just to make sure everything was where it was supposed to be. So anyway, we will start with the transmit side of the radio. Okay, again, as you saw in the previous video, this thing was absolutely horrid. Okay, so we've got it right where it's supposed to be now. Okay, Joe, you're gonna be really happy with this radio. I'm not sure if you're gonna sell it. This radio might be for sale, so if anybody wants to comment, throw a comment in there on this if you're interested in this radio. I believe he probably wants to sell this and possibly the Galaxy too. So again, if anybody's interested, just comment and or private message me, and we'll see what's going on. I haven't talked to him in a few days, so but we'll get in contact with him before we ship him out, and maybe possibly we can make a deal with somebody. But I'm still not sure about that, so we'll talk to him about that after. Okay, so we're just going to start off. I'm sorry, I still have the tone in there from testing earlier, so we're going to start off with we've got the low dead key right around a watt, just a shade over a watt. Okay, because a watt and under, the radios start getting really garbly in the audio, so then they kind of get weak. So we like to keep them up above a watt. Okay, so there's your 1 watt, and there's your tone at 1 watt. Okay, coming in really nice. These Strykers, awesome radios. They always, as everybody knows, they have pretty decent audio to them. And they definitely have asymmetry, okay? Asymmetrical modulation, okay? That's with some of the stuff that we do here with the positive peak expansion, that's asymmetrical modulation. Now, asymmetrical modulation been around for a long, long time. All your AM broadcasting stations have been playing with that for years and years and years. Unfortunately, the government limited them to how far they could go, and didn't quite get it to where I'm sure they wanted to. But anyway, these radios come from the factory. If that was symmetrical, a textbook 4-to-1 ratio, you'd see this peak would be right at that top right at that line. Okay, not at the top line, but right at that line. That would be your 4-to-1. So we're going up. We've got probably a good 5-to-1 ratio right there. Again, it's asymmetry. It's I'm sorry, I get tangled up with that word. Asymmetrical modulation. Again, that has been around for a long, long, long time. So don't let anybody tell you that it can't be done and it doesn't work, because again, these radios come right from the factory, kind of with it built in, I guess you could call it. So anyway, we'll go to the high side. We got the high side set at about 11 watt dead key. Okay, there's your 2 divisions again. Okay, right there. As you go up in wattage, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't even have the mic gain all the way up. My bad. Call me out on it. As you go up in wattage, you lose some of that asymmetry, which is just a fact, just the way it is. It starts to get crushed, okay? So what I'm going to recommend, and I always recommend with these radios, is that you just run it at, well, we'll show you that, okay? You just run it at about a 5 or 6 watt dead key, and you're still going to get 100% performance out of the radio. So I'm just going to bring that down to about, we'll say 6 watts. We'll see what she does at 6 watts, okay? Which would be, anybody else, if you know your radio's not cranked and spanked, you should be doing the same thing. So that's right around about the 10 o'clock mark on the power knob, and there you go. So you're right up there. You're getting a good audio out of it. The asymmetry's kicked right in, about a half a division higher than what your normal stock, let's just say a stock radio would do, okay? So anyway, like I said, these Strykers come like that right from the factory, which we know a certain individual does not ever show it because he knows that that's the way they come, and he claims that you can't do it, and it's no good for the radios, but this is the way they are right from the factory. So some more stories for another day. So anyway, we'll start off with the 1 watt dead key. Joey, we're looking at the meter on the left. Okay, meter on the right is going to be peak power. On the low side, we'll start off with a 50 watt slug. So it should be a little bit more accurate for you in the lower settings. There's your just a shade over 1 watt. Hello, breaker, breaker, breaker. Audio check 1 2 1 2. Break, break, break. So swinging right out there. We'll call that 25 or 30. It did peak out there at 50 a couple times, but that's my voice is a pretty loud voice, so you may not get that. But again, that really doesn't matter. We'll go up to that 10 o'clock position. We say it was about 6 watts. Okay, hello, breaker, 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 breaker. Bending the 50, okay? So this is right where you're going to want to run this radio, Joe. Right about 10 o'clock on the power setting, and she'll be performing very, very well. So I just put a 250 watt slug in that right side. We're going to be looking at the top scale, 5 being 50, okay? Yellow, breaker, 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 audio check, audio 1 2 1 2, breaker, 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 audio check 1 2, breaker, break, 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 break. So right there around 60 65 watts, the same as it will do. We'll turn it up to the 11 watts. There's your 11 watt setting. Hello, breaker, breaker, breaker. Audio check 1 2 1 2. So she'll go up there about 70 from the 11 o'clock. From the 11 watts position. But again, like I said, she'll perform very, very well down at that lower dead key. Okay, so as in the previous video, we showed you what this radio sounded like going through the coax. So just give me a second. I'm going to set that up now. There's been a controversy going on. I hate to keep bringing this stuff up, but I have to point it out that there's a certain gentleman out there accusing me of bullshitting my customers, okay? There is no BS here, okay? This is not talkback, okay? There is no speaker plugged into this radio. Okay, we're going to show you. Right back there, there's the speaker connect. There's no speaker in this radio. There's my speaker connection right here, okay? It's not plugged into the radio, okay? So this, what you're hearing, coming with this audio that you're going to hear is coming directly through the coax, okay? This gentleman is so I don't know what the word of delusional, okay? Last week he accused me of using my switch box, which we showed you. We took the switch box out of line and showed you that it wasn't the switch box. And then he changed his mind and accused me of using talkback. This is not talkback. There's no talkback. The talkback on the radio is off. This is exactly what you're hearing is going through the coax. Okay. Have we perfected it to 110%? No, we haven't. But it gives you a good, clear indicator of what a cranked and spanked radio sounds like compared to one that's tuned correctly, okay? Does it give you the loud audio that you're going to get on the receiving end? No, probably not. But it will show you. I say show you because now I shouldn't say show you. He's going to accuse me of. I'm telling everybody that you can see what's going through the coax. Okay, it's a good way to let you hear the difference between good audio and bad audio. And it's not line level. I mean, I know some of them guys that do that line level stuff. That stuff comes out really, really. It sounds pretty good. Got to admit. But this is not line level. Okay. So this is just something we're working with, and I think we've got it at a pretty good level where we can at least let you hear the difference between good, clean audio and crappy audio. Okay, so just going to make sure the talkback is off. Okay, we're on frequency. We'll shut the echo off for now. Okay. So this is what she sounds like at that 5 o'clock watt setting. Hello, breaker, breaker, breaker. Audio check 1 2. I'll turn it all the way down. You're going to hear it's going to kind of mellow out there just a little bit, okay, as it should. And then we'll crank it back up to that 11 watt scale. Hello, breaker, breaker, breaker. Audio check 1 2. And I don't know if this echoes how this is going to sound, but we'll throw a little echo in there. Just so you can hear that. Hello, break, break, break. Audio check 1 2 1 2, and then we'll show it again with the echo off. Okay, so that's actually what's coming through the coax. You're hearing that coming through the coax, obviously into the film here. So anyway, that's something we're working with. I hope it sounds pretty good to you. Like I said, we haven't got it to 100% yet, but it's working out very, very well. I think gives a good indicator of what things sound like. Now you want to hear the talk back, okay? Get the talk back, okay? Now with a stock microphone, this radio is going to feed back, okay? Well, maybe if I turn that down, okay? So we'll turn on the talk back. Hello, breaker, 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 breaker. Audio check 1 2. There's your talk back. That's about 3/4 of the way up. She does squeal a little bit with a stock microphone. Nothing you can do about that, just the way it is. We'll put the noise canceling microphone on there, and the 110% improvement. You can turn the talk back all the way up if you want. I normally wouldn't run it that high, and then you can hear your echo. Hello, breaker, breaker, breaker. Now that's talk back. That's not what we were just doing. Showing you, letting you hear the audio coming through the coax. Okay, so that's the talk back. You heard what it sounded like coming through the coax. Everything's good compared to the previous video. It's 110%. Okay, so give me a second here. We'll get you set up on the receive side of things and show you what that's doing. Again, we had to pump in, I think it was like 5 or 6 microvolts into this thing to even get it to even start whispering a signal. So we've definitely got that improved right where it's supposed to be. So we'll start off with your S9, okay? What am I saying? Per Stryker spec, okay? Minus 67 dBm, which I usually do things in the microvolt settings, so that would be 100 microvolts. Same difference, okay? So there's your S9, okay? Coming in really, really well. Again, I know you don't hear the tone. Some people do it with the tone. Some people do it without the tone. You're actually really supposed to do it without the tone, but I'll throw the tone in there just for the hell of it, okay? And just so you can hear it, which is always good. It's always good to hear what's going on. So it doesn't matter. Either way, we're still at an S9, okay? Coming in mint. No adjacent channel bleed over. Okay? Absolutely perfect. And now we'll just go down to, they want it, okay, that's a half a microvolt signal right there, coming in at about high 9s to 10 on the Synad, okay, which is right where Stryker wants it. They want the signal to noise ratio around a 10, okay. It's coming in high 9s to 10. Couldn't quite squeeze 10 out of it, but to get 10 out of it, you're talking another half a microvolt of signal, which at those levels, you're not going to be having a conversation with anybody anyway. So it's really just for tuning purposes to try to get the best receive you can out of a radio. We'll show you what she's doing. I'll put that back in the DBM mode. This is what everybody shows, so we'll see what she's hearing down to. That's about 120, okay? Yeah. So we can still hear it at about 116. Let's see what it sounds like on the external speaker. Maybe able to pick that up. That's the speaker on the service monitor, so it might not be quite as sensitive as what we hear on the radio. So, yeah, about minus 117 is where she's going to lie, okay? Which is still really, really well. Anything over 100 is pretty decent receive. So, anyway, I think that covers everything on this. Again, the radio was, I wouldn't call it heavily modified, but it was crappily modified. Oh, Joey, yeah, also, we got your name out of the radio too, as you requested. So, what else? I guess that's about it, really. But again, You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but those modifications just don't work. They look good on the watt meter, but they definitely do not look good on the scope and the analyzer, and they do not sound good going out over the air. So, yeah, that's that. And we got plenty more to go, so we're going to get down to it. Joey, I'll be calling you on the phone in case you see this before I call you. And we'll discuss that little thing that we talked about with the radios, whether we're going to sell them or do something with them. Anyway, all right. So thanks for watching. Hope you kind of learned something there. Pop the cover, take a look down in the radio, see if you can see anything that looks out of place. Take pictures, send them to us. We can tell you, and you know, straighten it out if that's what you want to do. So, anyway, sorry about the long video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.